Happy January the 30th to you guys. I hope January the 30th means something to you, but if not, what better way to spend it than with me, Danny Burke, on Most Amazing Top 10. You can follow me on Instagram down there, and you know the drill. This is the channel where we take all kinds of weird and wonderful things from all around the world and put them into a nice little top 10 list so you guys don't have to. And today, we've got the top 10 most famous dead people of all time. Now, as you guys are aware, there are a lot of famous people. There are also a lot of famous dead people. But this isn't Most Amazing Top 1000, this is Most Amazing Top 10, so we had to try and squeeze it down into a top 10 list, so don't get too mad if we miss one out. But before we get into that, I want to hear from you guys. If you could bring back one famous person from the dead, who would it be and why? Let me know in the comments below. But now I want you to join me as we make our way through our list, and we're going to start as we always do with our number 10, which is Paul Walker. Actor Paul Walker was best known for his role in the Fast and Furious franchise, the latest of which came out last year. He gained prominence through his role in teen films such as She's All That and Varsity Blues, and gained the career-defining role of Brian O'Connor in his first Fast and Furious movie back in 2001. Paul was an avid car enthusiast, and it was this passion that led him to drive supercars like the one he was in when he died on November 30th, 2013. Walker was in the passenger seat of his friend's Porsche Carrera GT when it crashed into a concrete lamppost. Both died in the resulting fire. At the time of his death, Paul had already filmed enough of Fast and Furious 7 to appear in the movie on screen over a year and a half later. But now, let's move on to our number 9, which is Tupac. Tupac was an American actor and rapper whose music helped define the rap genre during the 1990s. He began his career as a roadie, a backup dancer, and an MC, but eventually started to produce his own music. Fans were drawn to his raw talent when describing the struggle of growing up in inner city America, with many songs focusing on racism and gang violence. As he gained popularity, Tupac became one of the key members of the East Coast West Coast hip hop rivalry that was boiling over in the mid-90s. It was thought that his outspokenness on this issue was what eventually got him killed in a drive-by shooting in Las Vegas on September the 7th, 1996. He died in hospital 6 days later. But from a rapper to a singer now, guys, we're going from Tupac to Bob Marley because he's our number 8. Born on the 6th of February 1946 in Jamaica, Bob Marley, born Robert Nesta Marley, is possibly the most famous reggae singer of all time. His songwriting, music, and messages would earn him international fame, and a legacy that is still going strong to this day. Marley started his music career in 1963 with the group The Wailers. After 11 years, they disbanded, and he moved to England to record his now legendary album Exodus, which has sealed his place as one of the world's best-selling artists of all time. That same year, he was diagnosed with a type of malignant melanoma, a skin cancer, and died on the 11th of May 1981 in Miami, aged 36 years old. Since his death, he has become a symbol of Jamaican identity all over the world, and his music has inspired counterculture movements globally. If you haven't checked out Bob Marley's music, I highly recommend you do. It's amazing stuff, but do it after this video now, because we're at number 7, and it's Princess Diana. Diana, Princess of Wales, was born Diana Frances Spencer as the 4th child of John Spencer, the 8th Earl Spencer. As such, she was already British nobility when she met Prince Charles, the Queen's son and heir to the throne. The couple were married on the 29th of July 1981 at St. Paul's Cathedral, and the event was watched on television by 750 million people worldwide. They had 2 sons, Prince William and Harry. During her time in the public spotlight, she gained worldwide adoration for her charity work all over the world, dealing especially with helping children. Her divorce from Prince Charles in 1996 caused worldwide media attention, which only ended when she was killed in a car crash in Paris on the 31st of August 1997. Her driver lost control of a car in a tunnel, killing all the passengers except for the bodyguard. There are also a ton of conspiracy theories surrounding her death and the suspicious circumstances, but we haven't got time for that, guys. We've got to move on to our number 6, which is Robin Williams. Now, Robin Williams almost needs no introduction. Before becoming one of the most well-known and loved American actors and comedians, he started his career in San Francisco and LA as a stand-up comedian. His role in the sitcom Mork and Mindy helped propel him into some of the most memorable film roles, such as Good Morning Vietnam, Good Will Hunting, and Mrs. Doubtfire. Robin Williams sadly committed suicide on August the 11th, 2014. An investigation and Robin's wife were in agreement when they said that he killed himself because he was suffering from Lewy body dementia and Parkinson's. But he'll be remembered for the millions of people he made laugh all around the world, and he's still doing so today. Guys, what is your favourite Robin Williams movie? For me, it's probably when he played the genie in Aladdin. I love that movie. I might actually go home and watch it. But not right now, because we've got a video to finish. We're at number 5, we're halfway now, and it's John F. Kennedy. John Fitzgerald Kennedy, commonly referred to as JFK, was the 35th President of the United States of America from 1961 to 1963. His short presidency was marked by huge events in American history, including the Cuban Missile Crisis, the start of the space race, and the building of the Berlin Wall. He was the second youngest person to ever become president and was also rumoured to have had an affair with Marilyn Monroe. But perhaps his most life-defining moment was actually his death when he was assassinated on November 22, 1963. He was shot in the head by Lee Harvey Oswald as he rode in a motorcade in Dallas, Texas. And now we're at number 4, guys, and I want to talk about a guy who is so famous he actually has his own national holiday in America every single year. Have you guessed who it is yet? It's Martin Luther King. Martin Luther King was an American Baptist minister who became the figurehead for the African American civil rights movement during the 1950s and 1960s. The goal was to end racial segregation and discrimination against African Americans in the US, and for the government to recognize their rights as citizens. In 1963, he led the famous March on Washington, one of the largest political rallies for human rights in US history. It was there that King gave his now famous I Have a Dream speech, which secured him as one of the greatest speakers in American history. Sadly though, his tireless and heroic efforts angered some people, and he was assassinated at a motel in Memphis, Abernathy by a gunman who shot at him as he stood on a balcony. If any of you guys have any doubt though about his importance in shaping the civil rights movement and modern America, I highly recommend you check out his I Have a Dream speech. You will not be disappointed. But for now, we're moving on to our number 3. And it's someone I mentioned a little bit earlier, it's Marilyn Monroe. She's potentially one of the most iconic faces on the planet. Marilyn Monroe was born Norma Jean Mortensen on June 1, 1926. She had a passion for acting and modelling from a young age, which led her to a number of big film roles in the 1950s and made her one of the most popular sex symbols in the world. Among her most famous movies are Some Like It Hot and The 7-Year Itch. She was married twice, as well as being rumoured to actually have had an affair with President JFK, like I mentioned earlier. Monroe died aged 36 from an overdose at her home in LA on August 5, 1962. Her death was ruled to be a suicide. We've only got 2 left now, guys, and I wonder if you can guess what they're gonna be. Well, you don't have to wait any longer for one of them, and number 2 is Elvis Presley. Elvis Aaron Presley was an American singer and actor who is also known as the King of Rock and Roll, or quite simply, the King. He was born in Mississippi as a twin, but his twin passed away. At age 13, his family moved to Memphis, Tennessee, and it was there that he fell in love with rockabilly music, a blend of country with R&B. His first single, Heartbreak Hotel, went straight to number 1 in the US, and he became the face of early rock and roll there. Elvis also starred in a number of movies and was famously drafted into the army during his career, but he will be best remembered for his music. In the twilight years of his career, Elvis became addicted to prescription drugs, an addiction that would seriously damage his health and eventually lead to his death in 1977, aged 42, where he died on the toilet. What a way to go, and look how far we've come, guys. We've talked about Tupac, Robin Williams and Princess Diana, but now it's time for our number 1 most famous dead person. Have you guys guessed it? It's Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson, otherwise known as the King of Pop, was an American singer and dancer who had a monumental impact on pop culture during his lifetime. His early music career began as a member of the Jackson 5 in 1964 when he was already turning heads with his impressive voice. In 1971, he started his solo career, and by the time the 80s came around, Jackson's career seemed unstoppable, with songs such as Beat It, Billie Jean and Thriller from the album Thriller. That album went on to become the best-selling album of all time. His music and at times erratic personal life captivated the media until his death in 2009, aged 50, from a prescription drug-induced heart attack. To this day, Michael Jackson is actually the highest earning dead person ever. He earns about $115 million a year. And that, as they say, is that, because that's all we got time for in this episode of Most Amazing Top 10, guys. But before you go, let me know in the comments below which one of these was your favourite. Also let me know if I missed any out, and finally let me know about your suggestions for future videos. I've actually seen quite a few suggestions in the previous videos, and I've got to say, guys, we're really liking them, and we are going to be making a few of them into videos very soon. But in the meantime, don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you can stay up to date with all the great videos we have on this channel. We're doing one a day for you guys, so you can't afford to miss out. In fact, 2 of them are floating over there right now. In the meantime, guys, you can follow me, Danny Burke, on Instagram somewhere down there. Thanks for watching Most Amazing Top 10, and I'll see you in the next one.